Buzi, buzi. Okej. No, siadamy. Hello, my name is Matilda and today I will talk to you about how to choose the best dog breed for yourself. This is my little helper, Kira. She's a border collie and she will keep me company as long as she wants to. I have a hot dog which will last me like a minute. I have this video sort of separated into two categories. First will be how to choose the right breed, and the second how to choose the right breeder for yourself. If it sounds like something that you might be interested in, then keep on watching. Of course, the most important thing to start with would be whether you have a dog allergy. Of course, if you have an allergy, you need to have a purebred dog because the likelihood that you won't be allergic to a mat are just negligible. I might do a video separately on potentially allergy-friendly dog breeds, but that's not a guarantee, and in general your choice is very limited. Then research different allergy-friendly breeds and see whether any of those may be compatible with your lifestyle. People who don't have allergies though, this guide is for you. The first thing which you should think about when choosing the right breed would be, I think the best thing when choosing the right breed is to have a rudimentary knowledge of different dog breeds and maybe dog breed categories. For example, American Kennel Club separates dog into 8 different categories. Categories. The first one is toy, then hound, terrier, working, sporting, non-sporting, herding, and miscellaneous. So in general, if you want to get a purebred dog, it's just good to know stuff about breeds in general. Those different groups kinda can give you an overview of what dogs of different breeds are like, and I really recommend just checking it out because, for example, some groups might be something that you're not interested in at all, and say you just don't want a hunting dog. Because of that, like a third of dog breeds are out of the question. So just get yourself some rudimentary knowledge of different dog breeds. The second thing that I think you should think about is size, nothing else. For example, if you travel a lot, I'm almost out of hot dog. If you travel a lot, then and you intend to travel with your dog, then that is something that might be really limit the type of dog breed that you can have. For example, if you travel abroad or by plane often, for most airlines, the weight restriction placed on dogs that can be with you on board, on your lap, is around 9 kilograms. So just check how many pounds that is. 9 kilograms, which is not a lot. It's like usually dogs about this size. And there is no two ways about it. If you want a larger dog, but also want to travel with your dog by plane often, then just don't get a big one. Big dogs are not compatible with your lifestyle. If you're choosing a purebred dog, you're trying to find a dog that best suits your need, and that means sometimes realizing that something that you might want from a dog just don't fit with your lifestyle, such as big size. Even if you don't travel by plane, if you travel often by bus or train or any other mode of transport apart from your own personal car, then that also might mean some restrictions placed on you. And even if, for example, buses don't have restrictions when it comes to weight of the dog or the size, technically they don't have restrictions of the size of the dog that you can take with you. It's just obvious to me that a massive mastiff is just not a dog that you can easily travel with. If you're curious, Kira, who weighs around 15 kilograms, is the perfect size to be placed in your lap in any seat anywhere. I didn't choose her. I mean, I did think about her size when choosing the breed. but I just knew that this size is very easy to travel with still. She can't go on a plane, but I don't travel by plane, so this is the perfect size for me. Yeah. Also, one more thing when it comes to size, big dogs are more costly and have a shorter lifespan. It's also something to take into account. If like a long lifespan is something that you really want, then getting a big dog is just not conducive to it. Great Danes or Mastiffs typically don't grow older than 10 years old. And the smaller the dog, typically the longer the lifespan. Kira's expected lifespan is between 10 to 15 years, according to most sources. So also, and big dogs, yes, as I said, big costs. If your budget is limited, then just consider getting a smaller dog. Can you just imagine how much a Great Dane eats? No, don't leave me. Third category, grooming. Consider how much time and resources you're willing to spend on grooming your dog. Some dogs have hair which is more similar in structure to human hair, and those are the ones that typically do better with people who have allergies. And there are also dogs, with most of them, who have dog hair. Dog hair can be coarse or soft, and then of varying length. So visually you can judge which type of hair the dog has. Consider that when looking at different dog breeds, because if your dog has a short hair which sheds, then typically you can just wash it by yourself and that will be done. If your dog has a coarse coat type, then you kind of typically often do something like plucking the coat, and in general it might be better to invest in a groomer. If your dog has a long coat, you might cut its coat by yourself, but then again it takes time. My dog is drinking water. It takes time, and that's something that's worth considering. Even if you love, for example, Afghan hounds, and you think that the size is great and other characteristics of the breed, consider if you want to spend hours every week just brushing the coat and keeping it in its pristine condition. Okay, the first thing you should think about is the time you can devote to exercising your dog, which is separate from grooming. Time that you can devote to your dog daily. Please take into account that taking care of a young puppy will require hours of your attention daily, but when the dog matures, the need for exercise will either be, stay the same or become smaller. Think about what kind of exercise you want to do with the dog. Are you a runner and you want a running companion? There are dogs who are good for that. If you, for example, want to get into dog sports, there are certain breeds which excel at these dog sports. And also, apart from just a need for physical exercise, there is also a need for mental exercise. So, for example, you have breeds that require a small amount of physical and mental stimulation, such as Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, breeds that require moderate or not so much, they require physical exercise, but first and foremost, they require, crybaby, they require mental exercise, such as Kira, for example. I don't need to run for kilometers with her every day, but I do need to give her a job. Then there are dogs that have high need for physical exercise, low for mental stimulation, such as
greyhounds.
And then there are those who need both type of stimulation, a lot of it. For example, Doberman pinchers. Those. The fifth thing, you chose a dog breed. Educate yourself about that particular dog breed. Maybe read a book about it. Maybe read the standard of the breed in American Kennel Club or whatever. Learn about its particular physical needs and preferred methods of spending time and how much attention it will actually require from you. Educate yourself on that particular breed. There might be huge varieties within the breed. For example, Border Collies have a show type and working type, and they are right now on the verge of becoming two separate breeds within the next couple of years, is my prediction. American bullies or pit bulls have a ton of size variations. Read up on the breed and find the particular variety, particular type within your breed that you want to get. And after that, find the best breeder, which is what I'm going to talk about now. Choosing the right breeder. I would start my research by joining some Facebook groups and asking people on these groups for recommendations for, good breeders. And also independently do research online by yourself and find different, websites of different breeders in your area. And then after you get the results from the Facebook groups or whatever kind of social media you're in, and then cross-reference those. It's important not to choose just the biggest or most popular breeder, because if a breeder has a ton of dogs, it might go two ways. Sometimes it's because the breeder is just very much in love with the breed and wants to have a ton of dogs and provide people with quality, healthy puppies. But sometimes he or she may give the dogs barely any attention and just not take the best care of them. And on the other hand, if you choose a small breeder, sometimes it might be something shady and it will be just a person breeding their dog, that they have one dog for money. But on the other hand, it might be a person who just has two dogs that they love and thinks that those dogs are so amazing that they want to make the dogs have puppies, and it would be a shame if the line died with the dog. So the size of the breeder or the fame of the breeder doesn't really mean much. You should talk to the breeder and to the people who have dogs from said breeder. Remember to only buy puppies from breeders that are verified with your local dog societies, like American or Polish or German or whatever kennel club, because if you don't buy from verified breeders, you take the risk of buying from a pseudo breeder. Then you will get a dog which might look like the dog from a breed, but will most likely have severe health issues, will be neglected in terms of socialization as a puppy, and it's just not good, because those breeders, non-verified breeders, are very, very often just run for profit. I am speaking mostly, because about how it is in my country, but I know that it's mostly true in many countries around the world. It's best to buy from verified registered breeders. So you've chosen the breeder. Your breeder is registered wherever he or she should be registered. Now engage in conversation. As I mentioned before, I'm sure you now know what kind of dog within the breed you're looking for. Even if the breeder you found is excellent, but for example, his or her dogs are not doing the best, for example, in the dog sport that you want to engage in, then the breeder is not for you. So remember to ask questions about the activities you want to do with the dog. Ask about health of dogs within the line that your potential puppy might come from. Ask about successes in the sports that you want to, like for example, if you want a working dog, ask how the dogs from the breeder do in work trials. If you want a dog for agility, ask how the dog from the breeder do in agility on average. Also, remember that if a breeder has many dogs, then he or she may have litters dedicated to different things. For example, I took Kira from a litter which was supposed to have good temperament for dogotherapy, which is something that we will, be working in later if the pandemic goes well and we'll be able to go to a course. And there are also other, for example, litters specifically for sheep trials and herding sheep. So make sure also that you're getting a dog from the right litter. Don't be afraid to wait. If you're getting a dog a breeder that you want, just don't rush. Nothing will really happen if you have to wait a couple of months for the right puppy. It's better to wait than to suffer consequences of poor choices, in my opinion. A good breeder is somebody who wants to find the best houses for their puppies. A good breeder might ask you questions which kind of seem invasive. For example, they might even ask to see your house, or ask about the number of rooms you have in your house, ask whether you have a large yard, how many kids do you have, all to make sure that the dog is going to the best possible home. They might ask you to fill a questionnaire in like Google Docs. I know many breeders started to employ that method during the pandemic because, you know, in the pandemic people stayed home, they wanted to get dogs, so breeders started to send over the questionnaires to be able to single out the people who are definitely not equipped to take care of the dog or of particular breed. So don't be afraid to answer the breeder's questions. It's not completely necessary, but most good breeders do like to stay in touch with people who get their puppies, not like in daily, you know, contact, but to just, you know, get updates every couple of months. Moreover, the breeder a good breeder is not afraid to answer questions even after you receive your puppy. After you receive your puppy, if you have questions about specific health concerns, or for example, the timeline for vaccines, the vaccines that the puppy already had, or maybe needs for socialization, you want to ask whether the puppy was socialized with a specific type of stimuli already, then you can ask the breeder. For example, you can, if you want to ask whether your puppy is growing at the right rate, whether it's too thin, whether you know, their coat is looking all right. All of those questions, don't feel free to ask to your breeder. However, if your puppy has behavioral issues, I don't think it's you should call the breeder. At that point, you should call a behavioral specialist, because while the breeder might be willing to help you, it's better to find somebody who will, you know, look at the dog and help you there, and that's not the breeder's job. The breeder thought that they are giving the puppy to the best possible owner. They verified that you were that kind of owner, so now prove them right. And if you have behavioral issues such as problems with potty training or excessive biting or fingers crossed not bad aggression, consult a behavioral specialist. And also, a good breeder will help you choose the best litter and puppy from the litter that will suit your needs best. Of course, there is the usually when you know, reserve a puppy from a litter, it's like first come first serve. The first person has the pick of the litter, and the further down the line they go, you know, the less puppies they have to pick from. But still, ask your breeder for help. They will for sure choose the best puppy for you. When I was waiting for Kira to be born, it was a litter from a tricolor dad and a Merle mom. It's that type of coat color. And my priority was getting a dog which will be great for dogotherapy. So when they were born, I was like, and I saw Kira as a tiny puppy with her, you know, half white, half black face. I thought that she's the cutest, and I kind of imprinted like a baby duck on this dog. But I was like, if the breeder tells me that she's not going to be great for dogotherapy, then I will choose a different puppy. So when the breeder told me that, I waited for a long time, and I was first in line, so I had the pick of the litter. And when the breeder told me that all the dogs actually were very well done, they had a great character, and they all would suit my needs. Even though before Kira was born, I was thinking about getting a Merle dog if possible, I was able to choose the one that I wanted by coat color, by looks. And that's the stage at which looks, I think, are something that you can take into account when picking a specific puppy from a litter that you already have chosen. If you are dead set on a dog of particular coat color, then also make sure that the litter and the breeder will fit your need. It's better to wait longer for the right dog in the right color than get one that you like based on looks, because looks aren't a guarantee of anything. First and foremost, not a guarantee or health or good character. So I hope that this was kind of comprehensive and covered all the issues and all the things that you should take into account when choosing the right breed and breeder. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. And if you like this kind of dog content, next Tuesday I will post a video about things that you should look for when adopting a dog from a shelter or from a rescue or taking it from somebody else. So you can be on the lookout for that. If you want to be reminded, feel free to subscribe. I post dog content on Tuesdays and book content on Thursdays. And all my social media, which are Everycraft on Twitch and Reddit and Instagram, are in the description. Kira's Instagram is also linked in the description box, so feel free to check that out as well. And for now, thank you for joining me on this adventure, and I hope I was helpful, because I wish that somebody gave me something like a comprehensive guide to choosing a breed like that before. I hope I was of help, of service. So thank you, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye. No, don't leave me.